All right, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me, if you can hear me. Show me those beautiful faces. What's up, Lee? How are you? What's up, Eli? What's up, Jim? What's up, Dorina? What's up, Simon? What's up, Dental? How are you? And where are the other faces here? Come on, what are you trying to do? What are you guys doing? Something illegal behind those cameras? Is that what's going on? I need to thank you, Sheriff Ismail. Nice to see you. I need to see faces, folks, or I'm going to throw you out of this call. All right, I put on a tie for you, God damn it. So I better at least see those beautiful faces. All right. And again, I'm like your mother. I think you're all beautiful. All right. So don't worry about what you're wearing. I've seen it all here. I've seen people drinking. I've seen people smoking. I've seen people vaping. I've seen people naked on these calls. I saw a couple, both of them were naked. I won't get into it, but it's all good. As long as you're paying attention to this stuff is what I really want to see. So we're going to give 2 more minutes to Albert Santos and Pedrosto. Otherwise, I'm throwing you out myself. Muhammad Ibrahim. Is that our Muhammad from Saudi? Is that my Muhammad? I don't know. Let me see. And look, folks, I want to today talk about what's happening right now in the blockchain Web3 space. Now, you probably know I've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence lately. How many people have come to one of my master classes to listen to me talk about artificial intelligence? Anybody has done that? Okay, so Lee has and Eli has. Good. And again, we're doing replays there. You can go watch that on our investment club page. If you haven't seen that, leonardville.tv/IC for investment club. You can watch our latest one. Don't get me wrong, it's hot stuff, it's necessary, but you can't sleep on blockchain because all of my members that invest with us in all these hot companies that we think are going to give us these massive returns, they all have a blockchain component. So if you don't understand crypto assets, decentralized finance in the metaverse, it's all going to go over your head. Does that make sense to everybody here? It's all going to go over your head. And so what I wanted to do was bring you on today and bring you up to date with what's happening in blockchain, which is a ton. Bitcoin Miami is going on right now. We got members of my academy that are there representing, and $2 million worth of ordinal NFTs have just gone through on that Bitcoin blockchain, much to the chagrin of all these Bitcoin maximalists that I've had on the show, like Max Kaiser, like Robert Breedlove. And it's this weird thing, you know, where the Ethereum NFT craze is crashing into the Bitcoin maximalist phase, and you're seeing a lot of competition, but it's really creating a lot of value. How many people have been following the stuff, the Bitcoin NFT stuff, the ordinals and all that happening? Well, let me just basically say Bitcoin used to just be a store of value like digital gold. And now people are putting DeFi components, NFTs on there, and it's kind of exciting. I've had a lot of people on my show. I had Max Kaiser on my show 11 years ago. No, 10 years ago, Martine. I'm not that old. 10 years ago, Max was on my show. And look, let's be honest, Max has at one point $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, all right? And for a while on my show, when I was interviewing all the people on blockchain, Martina, I went 7 weeks without interviewing a billionaire. They were all billionaires, right? That's what this space is all about. So we've got a lot to say. And what I want to do tonight is share with you the state of what's happening in blockchain. Who's ready for some of this action? And I got to see cameras on or I'm throwing people out. Chandra, I'm throwing her out, Martini. I'm throwing her out. Pedrosto, you've been warned. Pedroza pizza. That doesn't even sound real anyways. So sorry, buddy, you're out. Gone. Sorry, I'm going to throw somebody else out here. Fabio, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a nice person, but I'm throwing you out too. All right, turn these cameras on, folks, because I want to see faces. I get energy from your faces. And look, you know, we want to go big tonight. I got videos to play for you of stuff that I haven't even shown yet. I got people that have been on my show in Web3. I got Yatsu that runs a $4 billion fund that I'm dropping some video from him that no one's seen before. So please, can everybody pay attention? And we're going to rock and roll. Is everybody ready here? Sound good? Before we get started, can you just type in the chat, what crypto do you own? Just type in what you own. I want to get a feel for this audience. If it's none, it's none. If it's just the blue chips of crypto, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum, put those in. If you'd like to get a little fancy with that near protocol, or maybe some of the others, let me know. I'm curious. Or you're old school with some of that Solana, maybe some of that Cardano. If you can put that in the chat, I'd love to see. I can already see we got people in South Africa, Chiang Mai, people in America, people in the UK. That would be really helpful because I can see that and kind of reference it. All right, we ready to go here, folks? There'll be a bunch of people joining us as we go. I cooked up this presentation fresh for you this morning. I got videos. Pay attention, all right? I don't do these very often, and when I do, they're really good because we're talking to a lot of people and we're investing millions and millions of dollars into these protocols behind the scenes. We're investing $3 million this quarter. So in the next, what do we have, Marty? 42 days, we're cutting, I think, 4 checks now, one for $1 million in AI companies, Web3 metaverse companies. So we're not only investing in this space, we're heavily involved in the liquid tokens and also in the companies. All right, let me take a sip here. And let's go. All right, here we go. Again, any questions in the chat, I'll answer them when we're finished. So this is what we're doing, folks. The thing that really got blah. Can everyone see this headline? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see it, because this was the headline that really took people's attention. ChatGPT helped this creator called Memecoin create $100 million AI meme coin in about a week. How many people have followed the story? Anybody followed it? Thumbs up if you have. No, otherwise you'd be worth 100 million. You've not been paying attention. All right. So I want to show you how this tells us that blockchain isn't over, crypto isn't over. There's so many opportunities right now. Also, when you merge AI and blockchain and metaverse, lots of magic happens. So I'm going to show you what he did. And I'm also going to show you some of the important things happening right now in blockchain and Bitcoin. So let's jump into this and talk about it, because this is an incredible story. But this is what happened. There's a token called Turbo Toad token. I know it sounds a little silly, but this digital creator, he's out of Melbourne, Australia. He basically came up with a budget of $69. Does anybody here have $69 you might be able to afford to do this? Okay, a little bit of life out here. Anybody else? So Sheriff does. Dorina, what about you? You make 100 million. Who wants to spend 69? So he went into ChatGPT. There's a whole video, but he's a 30-minute video, which I've watched. It's really good, by the way. I'll put the link later. He went into ChatGPT. He's an artist, so he thought this would be performance art. And he's like, guess what? I'm going to create a meme coin. So he went to ChatGPT. He said, my budget is $69. Can you help me do it? And the ChatGPT kept coming back with him like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this. And he went to Twitter. He doesn't even have that many followers, like a couple thousand. And he was asking them in like polls, do you want me to do this or this or this? He got stuck along the way, but basically ChatGPT programmed all the tokenomics for him. It programmed the website for him. He went to Midjourney, which is like a ChatGPT for images, and they made the images. He got his community on Twitter to vote for him. And then he released the token, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden it started gaining traction. And last time it got up to $100 million market cap. He kept 9 billion of the 69 billion tokens. So I think that's technically 10 or 15 million for him. But like, this guy is a broke as a joke artist, like broke as a joke, who's been struggling. He's been given a lot back for crypto art, but he made this thing happen in the last 2 weeks. Now, Sheriff, Eli, Dorina, what the hell did you do in the last 2 weeks, right? No, I'm just joking. But my point is that this guy just went to ChatGPT with a creative idea and he made it happen. My point is there's so much opportunity out there right now with these AI tools and with blockchain. All you have to do is push yourself. And that's what he did. And when he got stuck, he asked GPT to help him out. ChatGPT said, oh, you got to hire a coder to do your tokenomics. And he's like, I can't, I don't have any money. So what do I do? And they're like, well, I could write it for you. He's like, please. And he wrote it for him and he got someone to look at the code. It's an amazing story. And so this actually happens, right? This is the guy, his name is Rhett Mankind, and everyone's been talking about this thing. It's really popped off. And it just goes to show you these days, you don't need a team. You don't need venture capital. All you need is a will and a way. And this guy proved it. And he created something amazing. For me, I'm not asking you all to create meme coins, but what I'm saying is this shows you how much opportunity out there. And the sky is the limit. The only thing standing in your way is you and your imagination, because ChatGPT makes everything possible. You can build a website, you can create the images, you create the marketing, you create the Twitter posts, you can create the tokenomics, you can create anything you want. And so it's amazing. You know, we've been talking about doing a London Real token for a long time. And I'm working with a company that wanted to charge me, I think they wanted to charge us, Martini, like 600 grand to make our token. I just sent him this guy's video this morning and I said, hey, why am I wasting my money with you? I'll do it myself. I was a bit of a joke, but also not a joke, if you know what I mean. And so it just goes to show you what the possibilities are. And this guy made a community coin. The community's loving it. Imagine if we put out a London Real token and I was just like, you know what? We're not even going to take a financial interest. It's for the community. People can spend it. They can vote things up and down. They can send it to Dan Pena to piss him off. You know, how awesome would that be? That would make me happy, actually. That's all the payoff I would need. And so this just goes to show you the possibilities. And again, here we can see turbocharged 2,000%. This guy literally has tears in his video. His daughter asked him a few months ago if they could move in a house closer to her school in Melbourne because they live out in the boonies. And he's like, honey, I can't promise that. All I can promise is I'm going to try. And this guy's literally shedding tears on this thing. He's like, I can't believe this happened. I mean, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. So it just goes to show you there's things happening, and I want to show you there's a lot more happening in blockchain, but you've got to learn the basics of crypto and DeFi, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Also, it's not just this. We've seen Pepe, the Pepe meme coin. How many people have been following that little green Pepe coin, right? It's going up to $1 billion plus. And again, we thought meme coins were dead. People talk smack about meme coins. I don't anymore. Look at Dogecoin. And Dogecoin has been sitting there like a rock at number 10 market cap, worth of, 5, 6, 7, $10 billion for the last year or two, right? Same with Shiba. And all these other things come and go, and the scandals happen, and these things are just hanging out. I mean, it's a real thing. You can't hate on it. And it shows this market is still alive. It shows that even with all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, Gary Gensler from the SEC isn't going to kill people that love to do this stuff, right? I got a sheriff who's nodding his head to me. He's like, yeah, Brian, I feel you. And that's the truth. It is true. Crypto is here to stay, but you just got to do it in the right way. And of course, we've seen Solana, tons of NFT success. It's coming back, right? Solana was the ugly stepchild because it was supported very much by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. When he went under and took a lot of the market with him, everyone was like, is Solana going to fail? They really thought it was going to fail. At one point, you probably remember it was down 80% on the day. It's back, baby. So a lot of this stuff is coming back, and I want to talk about why. Now, look, I had Dan Tapiero on my show. This guy runs $1.2 billion. He's got another $1 billion that he's raising money for. We're investing in his fund through London Real Ventures. I'll tell you a little bit about that lately. But I wanted to play a video for you of Dan Tapiero because Dan, he couldn't be more excited about crypto. He's raising another $1 billion to put back into these companies. And I wanted to play for you our latest episode with him because it's amazing. This is what Dan says about Web3 and the blockchain.
We're the only fund that focuses exclusively on blockchain and crypto business.
I still remember the conversation we had 17 months ago. You said, look, Brian, I'm not the guy that's going to get you 100x. I'm going to get you 10x. And I'm going to invest in companies with revenue. It was not what people wanted to hear when Bitcoin hit its high in November. But then fast forward 18 months, you're looking like one of the savviest investors out there.
We are investing at the growth stage. We're looking to invest in companies that are going to be able to withstand the bear phase. A company like Memecoin made more revenue in 22 than in 21. Think about that for a second. You had a massive bear phase in the cryptocurrency markets, and here's a company that actually did better. Of the 26 investments, we only had one that was impaired. It was only 2.5% of total assets.
I think you had a term where you said under the hood, there's a lot going on. All of these things are growing and building. The price of Ethereum can stay the same, and they're still going to create hundreds of millions of dollars of value.
We try to pick established companies that are making big chunks of revenue because they have the flexibility to take that risk, add that business line, buy that small company that could be building the future.
You plan on just introducing synergies between all of those companies. You can create a ton of value for your portfolio companies.
We are going to be very focused on helping bring some of our companies to the public markets. 5 years from now, Coinbase is not going to be the only public crypto blockchain business in the world. 10 trillion is what I call would be the value of the digital asset ecosystem, which is the value of all the cryptocurrencies and all the equity in the space.
Booyah. Pretty smart guy, that Dan Tapiero, right? We like him. He came on a private call for our investment club the other night and blew everybody away. We're going to put $1 million into his next fund, maybe 10 million. And we're really impressed. He invested in Yuga Labs, Memecoin Brands, the Winklevoss twins with Gemini, Kraken the exchange, Ledger, Deribit, the biggest options exchange in the world. He really knows how to pick investments. He's been doing this for 30, 40 years. He's an amazing guy. Actually, I'm getting really close with him and his team. They actually referred us to somebody to actually help invest in one of our AI projects right now as well. So it's going really well with him. And again, I always listen to Dan because he knows this is going to be a $10 trillion ecosystem. Right now, it's about 1.7 if you add up all the crypto and all the companies on top of that. So this thing's going much, much, much further. And that's why we're investing in these companies on the side. So this is just something you get to know just because you're here with me. And I want to just remind you that this is the place to be. So as far as today, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about 3 things. First of all, how you can find the hot projects to invest in. That's what's really important. Coins are great, but we see a lot more upside in the actual projects. The second thing is, why do you need to pull the trigger? I'm going to really show you what it takes to actually go ahead and invest in a project. and how you're going to do it through what we call pre-sale tokens. Again, you got to understand blockchain to do this, but if you do this, there's incredible upside here, which is what we're doing in the background with London Real Ventures. And of course, I want to show you how you can get deeper into the knowledge curve of crypto and DeFi. Now, we've graduated over 1,000 students from our Crypto and DeFi Academy. All of my graduates that have gone on to my investment club went through that course. And now some of them have been with us now for 2 years, coming up on 3 years now. And we plan on working with the same people for the next 10 years. Our pledge is to create $10 billion of wealth for my group of people inside my academy. And we're really on track to do that right now. We couldn't be more excited. So I want to play for you a couple of videos that I actually haven't even released to the public. And I want to share with you some of the insights that we're seeing that hopefully will help you. And like I said, we'll get to questions at the end. I've actually got a call with my Kings of DeFi, which is my advanced crypto class at 1:15. So I'll have to jump for that. But until then, I'm all yours. So let's jump into this. By the way, we are investing over $3 million in 3 hot deals this quarter. I'll give you a little taste for what we're investing in later, just so you kind of know, but there's a lot happening. And like I said to Dan Tapiero there, the price of Ethereum can stay the same for the next year, but our companies are going to make a lot of money. Does that make sense to everybody here? Right? Because we're investing in the infrastructure. That's what we're investing in. It's like we're investing kind of, when there's a gold rush, there's people that sell you the picks and the shovels and all the infrastructure behind it. That's what we're investing in. So if you think about, the internet was big in like the late 90s, and then there was the big boom in internet stocks, and then it crashed. Well, people didn't stop using the internet, did they? Amazon got bigger, Google got bigger. So just because stock prices go down or crypto goes down, Bitcoin goes from 69,000 to what's it at today, 27,000. These companies are still building infrastructure. I believe 10 years from now, every single interaction we have throughout the day is going to be on the blockchain. How many people agree that's probably true? You'll probably have a blockchain transaction, whether you know it or not, every 10 minutes is what I believe. It's just going to be a part of our lives. And so if you believe that, then you want to invest in this sector. By the way, just a sneak peek, this is London Real Ventures. If you ever want to check it out, you can go to londonreal.ventures. We are the world's first media-powered investment firm. I don't talk about this very much, so this might be the first time you're hearing it. But when I'm not in the studio interviewing guests, when I'm not in my academies teaching my students, I am working on these investments. And what we do is we take our massive media platform, and we also take our checkbook, and we write these companies a check. I put their CEO on the show, and then we go ahead and blast their message out to the world and introduce them to our 5 million subscribers that become customers. Needless to say, this is why we're seeing the best deals in the world, because these companies are desperate for customers. They don't really need money. What they need is revenue, which is customer base. Does that make sense to everybody here? Right? And so that's why we're seeing some incredible deal flow. And again, just really quick, we promised something I call a quadruple threat. And it's really simply this. It's kind of what I talked about. It's that, one, I put the CEO in the interview in the leather chair, and we produce an amazing interview, right? You saw what I did when I interviewed Tapiero, though, right? I can really pull out something beautiful. Then we distribute that out to our 5 million subscribers worldwide. But that's not enough. I know 1,000 people that have been former guests on my show. Massive people in crypto, multiple billionaires, funds, but I also know people like Robert Kiyosaki. I know people like Jim Rickards. I know people like Grant Cardone. I know people like David Goggins that, who knows, they could plug into your project. Fourth, we cut you the check. I'm not like one of these marketing agencies, right, that wants free equity. We write big checks. We're writing $1 million check this week. So that's how we get this deal flow. And I pass the deal flow on to you, onto my community. And you get the opportunity to invest in deals you would never, ever see in your whole life. And by the way, I'll mention it later, but in our investment club, our members can invest as little as $0 up to $5,000, or even some people write $50,000 checks. I think on our current deal, Martini, someone's writing a $75,000 check. So it's up to you. And that's the other thing that we give people is flexibility. So that's why we know a little bit more about what's going on than just some person that posts crypto videos about, I don't know, the latest coin. We do a little bit more behind the scenes. These are some of our portfolio companies across the ages: Swissborg, Vadim, Orange Comet, DeFi Yield App, and there'll be another 4 or 5 of these deals announced in the next 4 weeks, including what we're calling the OpenAI killer. We've got what we think is the hottest AI deal in the world. We're about to put in $1 million ourselves and help them raise another $14 million on top of that. And I'll give you a little taste of that too. First of all, folks, this is a quote we live by here. And if you believe in the same thing, then you're probably in the right space. If you don't, you should probably leave. But I believe the greatest way to predict the future is not to worry about it, it's to create it. How many people agree with me, right? I'm a big fan of this concept of extreme ownership. We learned that from Navy SEAL Jocko Willink. I'm not a big fan of worrying or putting my head in the sand. I can predict the future by creating it. And that's what we're doing here. We have a small group of people with some capital and a media platform, and we're going to change the world. And I said this the other night, Martini, I'm going to say it again. If you don't think that's possible, look what happened in 2020. Was anybody following our channel in 2020 and some of our controversial interviews we were broadcasting, right? Look at this. 2 guys and a team, small team of people shook, we shook the world, right? We had major technology platforms looking for us. I had governments looking for us, World Health Organization looking for us. I had Ofcom here in London looking for us. We disrupted the world conversation. 2 guys having a conversation in a studio and a small team of people and an army of people like you behind us. And we changed the narrative. Our videos were watched hundreds of millions of times on the back of it. And this was like, seriously, like 4 or 5 motivated people. So don't tell me we can't change the future. Is everybody with me here, right? That was literally done with a small team. I was going up against a $1 trillion technology company, right? World governments that worth trillions upon trillions of dollars, and they couldn't beat us. So again, never underestimate the power of a highly motivated individual or a guerrilla warfare as well. Look at all the guerrilla wars that happened in the world. How many of them worked out for the invading party? Can you name one? Afghanistan, how'd that work out? Vietnam, how'd that work out? Not so good, right? Because you got people that have nothing to lose that are defending everything they got. And for me, that was my right for freedom of speech. And so we just fought to the death. And in my opinion, we won. So never underestimate your power. And that's the way that we do this here. And again, what is your why? At the end of the day, I do it for these munchkins, not so much the cat. Cat can stay, but he's sometimes on my bad list. But the boys are mine. It's Caden's birthday. He's turning 7 this weekend. We're going away to the countryside, ride some horses. And Damon, his younger brother. Ultimately, I do it for these guys. I'm trying to create the generational wealth so they can be secure. And when it comes to AI, I'm trying to create it so they're not going to be, exterminated by the machines, which is a real problem. So that's why I do it. Also, our mission at London Real is to create a mass scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious and cooperative species. It's been our mission for 10 years. And what we're doing with AI and blockchain, it aligns perfectly, which is why all these founders want to work with us, because we're about democratization of information. We're about financial freedom for everybody. We've always been about that. We've always been against the institutions like the banks and the big tech companies, big pharma, big food. We've always been against all that nonsense, right? I hate those institutions, and I try to give you the information to where you can bypass those. So that's why I think we're having so much success. And that's why hopefully we can tell you what's going on. Next, I want to play for you a video from Mark Yusko. He's a massive fund manager. Him and Tapio are really good friends. And I want you to get his thoughts on this market. And again, if men and women with billions of dollars are investing right now, that probably tells you what you should do. Unfortunately, most of the market here is feeling the pain since the Bankman-Fried thing, and everyone's scared of crypto. I think that's a mistake. Listen to what Mark Yusko says about the market right now and what you should do.
This idea that it's just Bitcoin, just Ethereum, no, it's the technological evolution, not revolution. What blockchain will do to financial services is what the internet did to media and commerce. But it doesn't just transfer market cap, it expands. Blockchain busts the monopoly of finance, and they make lots of money being the trusted third parties between the exchange of value. What blockchain technology does is it goes from dual entry accounting to triple entry accounting. Now you have a ledger, I have a ledger, but there's this third ledger that exists in an encrypted form permanently, immutably. We're replacing trust with truth. This fundamentally changes how humanity interacts. Why? Well, because people are realizing that when you put your money in the bank, it's no longer your money. Well, with blockchain, we don't need that. So it allows us to break the shackles. Humanity moves forward because of human creativity, human ingenuity, innovation.
You mentioned FTX. What do you think actually happens?
I don't believe Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline were the masterminds of anything. And I think there is a much higher power that masterminded the whole thing to disparage crypto, to slow down the adoption.
You're excited. You think there's great opportunities in this market, and you're just looking forward to the next 10 years, knowing that this will all happen. It's just about how it happens.
I am incredibly optimistic. It's just so inspiring to be around people who are looking forward, who are looking for solutions and innovations. What I actually love to do is seek people with opposite views, to have dialogue and debate in search of truth. And now the problem is you're not allowed to talk to people. Left can't talk to right, up can't talk to down. No, that's what you need to do. Talk to listen and learn and discern. You may still believe what you believe, and you may believe it more, but occasionally you might change your mind.
Nice. We like Mark? Pretty good, right? Right? I just got reminded how much I like that guy. Again, this is something that Sandeep from Polygon, the CEO of Polygon, which is massive right now, he said to me on one of my conversations with him, I think a year and a half ago. He said, Brian, this isn't technology. This is a human paradigm shift. Does that make sense to everybody here? It's a human paradigm shift. For the last couple hundred years, we were always beholden to like a king or a queen. I mean, for God's sakes, most of Europe had kings and queens even a couple hundred years ago, right? You were beholden to a bank. You were beholden to a government. And nowadays, a technology company that's going to do everything for you, right? Or that you're always, subject to. Crypto is different. Crypto gives us, for the first time, sovereignty over our money. It's human rights personified. And that's why people like Mark are so optimistic on this, because this is a change in the way we interact. Now I can send Lee, I can send you money, and no one's in the middle, right? How many people have money in the bank right now? Just put your hand up if you've got some money in the bank, right? Is that where you keep your money? By the way, that's not your money. That's their money that they're holding for you right now. If for any reason they deem you as a bad actor, they're going to hold your money. So I would argue it's not your money, right? A bunch of Russians had money in US treasuries and US dollars. And when that happened, it got taken away from them, right? A bunch of people were protesting the Canadian trucker protests, and they found out their money got taken away from them by the Canadian government. Right. And so we're starting to realize that we didn't have the rights that we thought we had. And that's why this technology is going to be so massive. You can't put this genie back in the bottle, because once people taste that freedom, they're going to want it for a long time. And people are losing trust in all their institutions, right? We're losing trust in our banks, in our governments, in our medical professionals, in our legal professionals, in our media, for God's sakes, in our technology companies. Does anybody here trust those companies anymore? I mean, come on, right? And so I think people are waking up, and Web3 is the perfect thing for it. So let me just keep going with some of these points, because it's important what we're saying here. And again, more stuff in the news right now. Ripple has had this back court case with the SEC. When that gets settled, Ripple is currently like the 6th largest crypto out there. It's potentially going to advance the market forward. So I want us all to remember there's a lot of good news happening right now as well. And of course, Pepe is just popping and cropping and doing crazy stuff. And again, look, I don't recommend my students invest in meme coins, but if you do, that's great. But for me, it shows that there's something about this space that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Does anybody here own an NFT? Just put your hands up if you own one, or if you've ever received one from someone. When I gave my daughter an NFT, I'm telling you, it was like the coolest thing I ever did for her, right? Forget that I fed and clothed her and took care of her for 10 years. Oh, don't get me started. But the NFT was like the coolest thing I ever did. I mean, literally, I could have given her a BMW 3 Series and it wouldn't have been as cool. So it's like you start to realize there's things going on here that don't necessarily make logical sense. But they show you that the world is craving the Web3 experience. And that's why we're investing in these companies, and I'll explain that to you. I want to play for you a video now from Yatsu. He was in my studio last week. He runs a $4 billion company called Animoca Brands. Has anybody heard of Animoca Brands? They've got 400 investments, all in the metaverse. This guy is the godfather of Web3. He's one of the first guys that explained to me what was going on. And we've actually just got this video hot off the presses. Martini, you haven't seen this yet. I've been saying that all week, right? And so I got this one hot off the presses here. And this is Yat talking about the state of Web3. Again, I listen to this guy more than anyone else in the whole world because he's legendary.
People who are entering the space, anyone who goes into Web3 and understands what it means, it's much bigger than just the product. But when you actually understand what it stands for, when you understand the idea, the promise, the prospect, and the ability of it, then you don't care that much necessarily about the initial gloss and glean and what it looks like. And that's the metaverse, that's Web3. And once you're infected with this idea of economic freedom in the digital platforms, you never want to go back. What Web3 gaming does is not the fact that you must make money from it. It's the fact that it unleashes and transparently opens up the financial ecosystem of the gaming world.
You just demonstrated that close association between property rights, freedom of speech.
It is all tied. It is all tied. It is all tied. Politics are politics, but at the end of the day, politicians still have to listen to their people. And if their people want something that is maybe more connectedness and more compassion, then the politicians who advocate for this will be the ones who are elected. When you do the work that you do, think about the why and think about sort of why is it important. When you get to this point where you have the luxury and the ability to think about the greater things that you could do, the choices you make because of it, I think you will live a more fulfilling life. We need to find a way in which our younger children, can learn about economics literally at the primary school level. And I think this is what excites me around Web3 and blockchain gaming. This is where children engage. They'll learn about this. If they don't learn it at school, learn it there. And that's what I'm really hopeful about where the world will go.
We like Yats. You feeling Yat? Guess what? I got something even better for you, because I just realized that was my interview that I had with him from the end of last year, but we got the latest one even better. All right. So you thought that was good. Check this out.
Why would you exist in a Web2 paradigm where you're making literally pennies on the dollar when you should be receiving your fair share of value, which is what's happening in Web3? So that is the meaning of the open universe. And if you're not in it, then I think you're really sort of not seeing where the future is, because virtual work, I think, is the future anyway.
It's not a new thing. This is just us, but now represented digitally, and it's only going one way.
Where are we spending our time? We're spending our time digitally. Owning our data, owning the derivative of our data is so critical, and people don't understand that, especially in this age of AI. Because after all, AI lives off our data. We are feeding the AI. You wouldn't have ChatGPT or self-driving cars if it wasn't for our data. And how much are we getting paid for it? Big fat zero.
You're giving away your data and someone's selling it back to you.
That trade of that data commodity has always been locked until today.
One of the things we aren't taught in school is we're not taught about money.
No, not at all.
And
it's a scandal, if you ask me. I think it's scandalous. When you onboard any person from Web 2 to Web 3, you're not just opening a wallet for them. The effective onboarding comes with financial education. That's the part that has been missing. If now billions of people have similar knowledge about financial systems, that to me becomes the antidote for financial abuse.
Do you think the fight for digital property rights is the most important fight of the human species?
What we're building is bigger than us. If you don't have property rights, you can't have freedom. If you can't have the ownership of it, then you can't predict the future for it. If you can see your future, then you can build towards it. And you're naturally optimistic. If you can't see the future, that's, I think, where trouble begins.
We like Yats. Powerful guy, powerful stuff. And again, Yats' thesis is we all need digital property rights. If you don't own your digital property, then you have no freedom. This is so important. This is why the Bitcoiners, they see owning Bitcoin as having freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of everything. Same with Yat. He thinks this fight is the most important fight of humanity, and I think he might be right. Again, property ownership is what gives you sovereignty to do what you want to do. Look at the companies where you can't own property, you can't own anything. Watch all the human rights evaporate. If you're in Texas and you got your property and you got your gun, you got your freedoms, right? And so for Yat, he's like, we got to make sure you own that digital property, and that gives you rights, and that's what a democracy is based on. It's deep stuff. And again, he puts his money where his mouth is. It's $4 billion of investments. We're actually doing a deal right now with Memecoin Brands on an exciting new Web3 startup. And so we couldn't be more excited. Yes, become a really good friend. And we also got to hang out with William Shatner of Captain Kirk of Star Trek a couple weeks ago in Texas together. So we had a bonding moment there that was a lot of fun. So, and I'll tell you about that shortly. So just wanted to give you those insights from those people. I mean, between those three guys, they run $10 billion worth of assets. You know, that's pretty incredible, right? Invested in this space. And so, you know, it's kind of important to see. So again, let's talk about this let's talk Turkey now. So where and how do we invest? How can you take this knowledge and then invest in crypto? Well, you've got to find the hottest trends. And that's why what we do is we go and find the deals, and it's all about deal flow, deal flow, deal flow. Does that make sense to everybody here? Right? How are you going to know what the deal is unless you're in the place where these deals are being talked about? And you can't buy these tokens on the exchanges because then it's usually too late. So we got to go to the source. You got to go to the well to get that fresh water and those fresh deals. So that's why I'm constantly traveling the world. When I'm not here doing episodes, when I'm not here doing master classes with you, when I'm not in my academy teaching my students and making them a lot of money is the plan, I'm out there having these conversations. So here I am in Dubai of October last year. This is GITEX, the world's largest technology conference in the world. There's 100,000 people there. It takes 3 hours to walk from one side of the conference to the other side. It's crazy. They go big in Dubai, let's say that. And here I am hanging out with some of the biggest influencers of crypto. On the left, that's Carl the Moon and BitBoy Crypto. In the middle upper part, I'm talking to Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni, who runs Digital Dubai, is now the CEO of their AI and blockchain group. He's become a very good friend. And then the bottom right, I'm talking with some of the big VCs that have, you know, $5,000 bills on their wall. And this is just me connecting, finding the best deals, finding the right partners. But it doesn't stop there. I traveled to Paris. This is me last year in Paris. Had some private dinners with investors. I'm doing media. I was doing a documentary film on the bottom. And in the upper right, I'm hanging out with two of our portfolio companies. One is Cross the Ages, which is the hottest metaverse gaming company of the year. They are #1 right now. If you saw that, Martini, in the Illuvium ecosystem, they went from like 4th to 5th to 6th. They're the #1 game now in that system. And we invested in that company over a year and a half ago. That's Sammy Chagu. And Swissport, we've just completed our investment and dropped a press release there. So I'm seeing those people. Then back to London to be at Token 2049. There's Yatsu in studio, hanging out with Sammy, again, on the bottom right-hand corner Across the Ages and talking to all the important influencers. Then I was back to Paris, where I'm hanging out with the big VC, including Dan Tapiero on the bottom, Swissborg on the right, Dan Draper on the Tim Draper on the top, Sebastian Forze of the Sandbox. And then, of course, I was in Austin, Texas a couple of weeks ago, hanging out with Ben Gertzel, which is our AI company we're investing in. That's Yatsu that you can see there standing up. You see that vertical one. He's standing next to David Broom, which is one of our investments, Orange Common. He's the CEO. And then the bottom right, that's me and William Shatner. Are we fans of William Shatner? Come on, Captain Kirk in the house. Anybody? Come on, throw your hands up. Throw them out of here, Martini. How dare you? Okay, Lee knows what's up. Thank you. Simon knows what's up. He's 92 years old. Come on, Captain Kirk. Are you kidding me? He was the alpha male father that I had. You know, he literally raised me, showed me how to beat up aliens. So this is what I'm doing, and this brings us the deals, right? But that's not enough, folks. Next, you have to understand the financial tools. How many people here have ever heard of a pre-sale token? A pre-sale token in crypto? Put your hands up. Okay, good. Few of you, Eli and Lee, not many others, which is a shame. Pre-selling is a practice that crypto projects use to raise money before the token goes on an exchange, right? It's like an early stage equity deal, but for crypto. All the big projects do it. By the time you buy a crypto on an exchange, most of the juice is gone because all the big money was made with the early stage investment. Let me give you an example. Who here owns Solana? Put your hands up, or has heard of Solana? Anybody heard of Solana? Come on, right? Well, guess what? You could have bought this as a pre-sale token, right? Look at this red circle. How many people can see this red circle here? How many cents is that? Show me some fingers. How many cents is that? 4 cents. You could have bought Solana for 4 cents on April 5th, 2018. Can everybody see this entry? Move to the right along that column. I know it goes down. You can see how much did they raise? 3.17 million. Can everybody see that? They sold 79 million tokens. Don't take my word for it. This is on the blockchain, folks. You can go look it up yourself. This was a pre-sale. Did anybody here buy it at 4 cents? Of course you didn't, because you weren't in the deal flow, because you weren't at the conferences, you weren't talking to the right people, so you missed it. And guess what? You missed out on this 59,000% return, 59,000%. All right, because it's now at 20 some bucks these days. That's a lot of money you could have made, a lot of money, right? That would have been like a $10,000 investment would have been like, you know, $5.9 million. Who would have liked that? Nice, a cool 6 million for you a little bit, right? This is what's happening all the time behind the scenes, and nobody's telling you about it. Because why would they? The rich get richer. The poor stay poor unless you know what's going on. There's a great movie called Wall Street with, Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. And there's a line in there where Gordon Gekko, the bad guy, supposedly, right, who makes all the money, he says to Bud Fox, he says, the most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree? Does anyone agree here? More valuable than any crypto is information, right? If you knew this was happening on April 5th, you could have got in, but you didn't. So it's all about information, folks. That's why I travel the world, because I want that one little bit of information I hear at the party at 1 in the morning at the whatever that gets us the deal that's going to make us these crazy returns. So these returns are out there, but you got to pull the trigger, and that's what we do inside London Mill Ventures. And this is a snapshot of over 200 pitch decks that we've seen inside what I call my investment club, which is 70 London reelers that have gone through my crypto and DeFi academy. And we now look at these deals. By the way, the orange Comet deal is the one on the bottom right. Those race cars there, that was their pitch deck. We've got over 200 of these, and we put these in our deal flow monitor. We track every single deal. You can see every single blockchain. Look at these deals. You can see whether they're NFT projects, what blockchain they're on, how much they're looking to raise. Is it equity? Is it tokens? What's the valuation of the company? We track everything here. We evaluate it. Every single week, we have a CEO coming on our live Zoom call pitching us a company. On Monday, it was a brand new hardware wallet called Engrave. Next week, we've got this investment we're making. I can't tell you the name of it. The previous Thursday, there were 2 companies that came on. One that one of our students met at the Paris Blockchain Summit with me. And I think the other one my student met at the Texas conference with me. So my students are bringing deals in. That's what we do here. This is Orange Comet, right? This is David Broom, who's the CEO. We invested in this company. They're doing amazing digital collectibles with William Shatner. Yes, Captain Kirk. With Sir Anthony Hopkins, with Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls, with the Walking Dead TV franchise, with the NFL, with these major Hollywood movie franchises. I can't even tell you the names, but it's big. This is me in the leather chair with David Broom. I would play the video for you, but we're running out of time. But David's an amazing guy. He's very intense, but this is what we do. We bring these CEOs in, we cut them a check. This interview blew up. It's been watched over 100,000 times. When I was in Austin with him, he said, Brian, this is crazy. He's like, everybody loves this. Our investors love it. We're getting customers. We're getting all these famous people that are coming to us wanting to do this. They're like, thank you. And thanks for the check. We cut him a check for, I think, 600 grand as well. So this is how we see the deal flow, and I pass the deal flow on to you. But you got to understand the basics of crypto and DeFi, or you won't know what we're doing. This is another investment that we dropped a press release 2 days ago. Swissborg, it's the #1 crypto wealth manager in Europe. They're an amazing team. They got 1 million people using their iPhone app. Very hard to get that many people that are mobile native on you. They're building the bank of the future. Literally, they're going to build the NASDAQ of the blockchain. And we recently just dropped that we put a chunk of money into them, and they're going to potentially be our place to list all of our future tokens and equity. And so we're building really our own universe, right? We're building our own London Real ecosystem, our empire, if you will, of all these different companies they're going to plug in. But like I said, if you want to be a part of this, you have to understand the blockchain space and Web3. Otherwise, you're of no use to us. And of course, Batum. Batum is an incredible deal that's building Web3 metaverses for Fortune 500 companies. So if you're at PepsiCo or Google or Slack or State Farm Insurance or any of these major companies, and you don't understand the metaverse, but you know your customers want in digital interaction and they want to own things in there, you come to these guys. They have an amazing platform. When we saw this company, we were blown away. And this guy, Eric's going to be in my studio Monday, the 29th, live. So you can listen to him, and we're going to blow this company up. What we're trying to do is get these companies up to 10, 20, 30, $40 billion IPOing, and we're going to make our 100, 200, 500, 1000X on our investments. That's what we're doing here, folks. And you can do the same, but you've got to understand this technology. This is Dr. Ben Goertzel. He's the CEO and chief scientist of Singularity Net, one of the smartest minds in artificial intelligence in the world. He's been in AI for 30 years. I kid you not, 30 years, right? His token is up 10X, Singularity Net, since ChatGPT launched 4 or 5 months ago, right? They're at the nexus, but they're not coasting on their token. They're building the next thing, which I call the OpenAI killer. This is their latest project, right? And it's blowing up. We're putting $1 million into this project. I've had him on the show talking about it. And I've also had his COO, Janet Adams, in here talking about it. I'm going to play a short video from one of them for you, just so you can see the kind of flavor that we're doing. I know I'm running out of time and I got to jump on a call soon, but let me just see if I can show you. This is just hot off the presses. I think Martini saw it for the first time yesterday. But this talks a little bit about their OpenAI killer, their new large language model, plus neurosymbolic logic on top of it. This is what it looks like.
Zarka is poised to take the next significant leap beyond systems like ChatGPT via infusing large language models with logical reasoning through a neurosymbolic architecture, then other elements like evolutionary learning, which are good at inventing new things that lead further beyond the data that was in there. You need this logic part if you're going to do the creativity part. This is something that we know how to do in Singularity Net's AI team since forever.
What you're doing is something different than a lot of these other plays, like what we're seeing coming out of Silicon Valley.
What OpenAI has done with GPT-4, I mean, it's awesome what the systems can do. On the other hand, everyone can see it can't tell reality from nonsense.
It seems like there's almost like two camps. You've got the large language model, narrow AIs that are going to this race to make these the ultimate. And then there's you over here that have been doing this for 5, 10, 20, for you 30 years.
I think the competitive advantage doesn't necessarily go to the people who have first come out with the GPT model. It could come to people who have deep understanding of these other AI modules that are to be combined with the transformer neural network, which comes down to the neural symbolic bit Zarka is doing.
Singularity Net has been on the blockchain for 4 years. It's always been about democratization. It's always been about an open marketplace. It's something we just don't see in these AI plays. They're usually surrounded by large tech giants. They're usually closed off to the public. They're usually trained in ways we're not sure of.
AGI, if it's going to create a beneficial technological singularity, if it's going to be good for all humanity, it can't be beholden only to the narrow goals of a very small group of people. You want the deployment to be decentralized, and you want to have a very diverse, broad group of people ongoingly participating and giving input to the AGI as it develops. And we're working on AI systems to do things like elder care and education and art and music and science. So I think if we architect AIs in a way that's designed to make them compassionate for humanity in a way that's governed by a participatory, decentralized infrastructure, there's no reason to be pessimistic.
You like Ben Goertzel, right? We feeling him? He's the right guy to have on AI. Trust me. All right. Trust me. And he's got the right vibe, the right energy. And quite frankly, he's complemented really well by this amazing woman. Her name is Janet Adams. And again, you can watch her episode on London Real. She is the COO of Singularity Net, and she's going to be one of the co-CEOs of this new company, Zarka. And Zarka is basically, like I said, their response to ChatGPT. And they're building artificial general intelligence. And we're really, really excited about that. And that's all happening inside our investment club. Look, folks, I want to just say a couple final pieces here, and that's this, and I'll answer any questions you have. If you want to become the best, you've got to surround yourself with the best. How many people agree with that statement, right? That's how you get yourself to the next level. That's why I made London Real the last 12 years. It's my attempt to surround myself with the best. That's really why I have these guests, because I love being around these people. They educate me. And then by that happening, you get educated too. How many people believe this statement? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. How many people agree with that? Yeah. And if you listen to my mentor, Dan Pena, he says, and who are you hanging out with? Losers. That's what he says, right? Most of us hang out with our friends and family, and none of them are ambitious like we are. Raise your hand if one of your friends and family is trying to build $1 billion business right now. Are any of them trying to build the ChatGPT killer, right? Really? Are any of them, trying to take their crypto company to the next level? Okay, well, God bless. How about 5 of them? Are you hanging out with those? This is what we do inside our academy. And that's why I took my daughter to Boston and encouraged her to go to Boston University, because I wanted her to be surrounded by the best. She wasn't going to do that in London. And that's why I forced myself from San Diego, California to Boston at a scary place like MIT, some of the smartest people in the world. And I wasn't. But by doing that, I had to step my game up. And by the time I was done with that institution, I was competing with the smart people in that school. That's what we do here inside our academy. We attract the best in the world. This is Marianne Bartels. She's a 35-year veteran on Wall Street. She was Chief Information Officer for Merrill Lynch Bank of America. These are 2 of the biggest banks in the world. She has been a member of our academy now for over 2 years. She's a crypto and DeFi grad. She's a Kings of DeFi grad, and she's a founding member of our investment club. She is invested in Zarka. She has invested in Orange Comet. She has invested in Baden. She's invested in all of these deals. He is one of the smartest people I've ever met when it comes to finance. She understands equities, bonds, the yield curve, commodities, inflation, you name it. She knows what the Federal Reserve in the US is going to do before they do it. For all I know, she tells them what to do. And she is someone that's in our academy, and you get to hang out and learn from on a regular basis. I'll be honest, when she's on the call, and Martini can confirm this, I shut up and I let her tell me what's happening with the global economic situation. This is the kind of level of people we attract here. And that makes me excited to get on these calls because I'm literally surrounded by peers or people that actually teach me things. But we have 70 of these in the investment club. We have another 1,000 graduates from our crypto and DeFi academy. This is Andrew Haynes. He is a metaverse expert. He built his own mansion in the sandbox, complete with NFT gallery. He owns over 700 NFTs. He also rubs elbows at one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland with some of the top AI scientists in the world. And he's another resource that the entire team has to him. And the list goes on and on. This is Dr. Encore. He completely changed careers about 16 months ago from medicine. Now he leads our investment committee on the investment club. He brought us the Vadim deal. He brought it to us after training with us. We taught him how to source deals. He went out and found it. Now he's bringing us deals that we're writing $1 million checks to. He also decided to start a YouTube channel against his will a year ago. I challenged him to do 10 videos in 10 days. He didn't want to. He said, Brian, I don't want to. I don't like it. I sound funny. I look funny. I said, yeah, just do it. And he did 10 videos, and then he did 11, and then he did 12, and then he did 20, and then he did 100, and then he did 300, and then he did 365 in a year. And he was going to take a break, right, Martini? And what did I say? Why are you taking a break? Give me 2 years. He's got hundreds of thousands of views. Someone just offered him $120,000 in crypto pre-sale tokens free to be an advisor on a company. And he turned it down because he's got better deals. This is what we're doing on the inside. Are you doing this? Quite frankly, tell me. You need a mentorship. You need someone to push you. It's not just me. He's got all the other people in the group. And then when he does it, someone else does it. We've got our students that have gone from like camera shy to doing their own weekly podcast now, to advising on companies, to investing alongside of us. They've completely re-engineered their careers. It's been amazing. It's like a kickstart, a rebirth for them. And so I believe in this philosophy. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So everyone that comes in our academy ecosystem, I want you to be a functioning member of our academy. I'm not here to give you fish. I'm not a fishmonger, right? You bring the fish to the table. Everybody brings deals. Everyone brings knowledge and connection. And that's why we've been so successful over the last 2 years. And so in my opinion, there's 3 things you need if you want to successfully invest long-term in crypto. You need, number 1, education. You need number 2, mentorship, and you need number 3, community. You can't do it without those 3 things. Most people fail to have one of those, which is why they fail, in my opinion. And that's why I created our Crypto and DeFi Academy. You can learn how to invest in and profit from crypto in just 4 weeks. We teach all the basics you need from soup to nuts to get you up the curve to where you can start investing in these deals that potentially will get massive returns. Our next course starts literally on Monday. We've got an amazing new course. And again, our graduates go from there into our investment clubs, et cetera. It's 4 weeks, it's 4 modules, it's by invitation only, and it's your chance to be part of the greatest dislocation of wealth in human history. I'm telling you folks, you wanna be in crypto now. You don't wanna be in a year and a half ago, you would have bought Bitcoin at 69,000, bad idea. But right now is the time because it's gonna make another run and it's only going up over the next 10 years. It's only going up, in my opinion. 8 hours of live calls with me. I teach them live just like this, right? I'm even a little harsher, right? Exclusive access to all of our e-learning content online. I got a triple tiered accountability system that forces you to show up and do the work. You'll be recording videos, posting them in the group. You will form a bond with a community of people from around the world. You'll know these people for the next 10 years. These are amazing people doing amazing things. We've got top level people. We've got dedicated coaches, team leaders, community managers, private group for posting all of your assignments, uploading videos, asking questions, etc. You can apply to join us now at londonreal.tv/DeFi, but be quick because we start on Monday, 6 p.m. UK time is our live call. It's 4 weeks and we go fast, all right? This is week 1. We go into the entire history of crypto. You will read the Bitcoin white paper. I don't need you to understand it, but I need you to read it. We'll talk about Ethereum, smart contracts, Black Thursday. We'll talk about everything that's happened in crypto over the past 10 years that's relevant. Week 2, we get in there and we don't mess around. You're gonna set up a hot wallet, a cold wallet. You're gonna set up your centralized exchanges and you're gonna execute your first DeFi trade. Your first decentralized finance trade will be done in week 2, I kid you not. But that's not enough. In week 3, we go deeper. You're going to be doing yield farming, liquidity pools, and you're going to buy an option on Ethereum. Yes, I used to be an options trader. I have a 15-year career on Wall Street with some of the most complex financial derivatives in the world. And I don't think derivatives are bad. They're not. Just like guns aren't bad and drugs aren't bad. Humans that misuse them are bad, okay? Options aren't bad. I want you to get comfortable understanding these things. You'll put a trade on in week 3. And week 4, I show you how to profit by trading DeFi and crypto. I show you how to manage risk. I show you stop loss orders. I show you my 10 coin rule, my first system, my 30-day watch list. I learned from the greatest traders in the world back when traders were traders in the 90s. I grew up on a trading floor of 300 angry, sweaty, alpha traders making millions of dollars a year, throwing phones at each other, cursing and cussing. And they taught me how to trade, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing. Most of these crypto kids wouldn't know how to trade if you slapped them in the head, right? That's why they lose money most of the time. I'm going to teach you the basics that you can only learn in a trading firm or a bank on Wall Street. They don't teach this stuff in schools. I know, I went to MIT Sloan School. They didn't teach me any of this stuff. So this is your chance to be part of the greatest dislocation of wealth in human history. Join this academy, get up to speed, and then join us in our further programs. This is probably the smartest thing you can do, honestly, this year, maybe your life, is be a part of this. The people that are inside our London Real Ventures Investment Club right now, I mean, seriously, they are on cloud 9. They're extremely excited. We're going to the moon. We're making a ton of money. It's crazy. So apply now to join us, LondonReal.tv/DeFi. I wanted to give away a bunch of bonuses because you all came tonight. So if you're here on this call, once you join, you let community managers know. I'm going to give you special bonus. Dan Pena live at the Ritz in London. This was a one-day event, cost thousands of dollars. There were 2 billionaires in the room. And it's Dan Pena, the $1 trillion man, who's actually gotten grumpier now, the older he's gotten, yelling at people and really forcing you to step up your game and get across the line. I apologize in advance, but you get 6 hours of this on video if you join tonight. Next, I'm going to give you module 1 of Kings of DeFi, which is our advanced DeFi and blockchain trading program that comes after this course. It's going to show you how to trade like the Terminator using my 1% rule, how to take profits and lock in your gains. It's an extremely good module, but that's not enough. I'm also going to give you bonus module 1 of our investment club. This tells you what's a crypto pre-sale token. It's going to show you how you can make a ton of money with these things called SAFs and safes. I shouldn't be giving this away, but I'm going to do it anyways. What the hell? All right. So just want to say this academy is not for the following people. So please don't join. Please leave this call. I don't want you around if you're a day trader, a crypto day trader. What are you kidding me? You lose money 90% of the time. Please stay away from me. I'm not looking for people that want to get rich quick. Somebody else will sell you that somewhere else. We are here for 10 years to make generational wealth. If you want to do it quick, you're going to lose it all. So go somewhere else. I'm not really here for Memecoin people or for trolls, for people that like to get out there and go into the Reddit forums. Please, you're not going to make any money. Go somewhere else. I'm not here for blockchain fanboys or for crypto academics. I want people that are going to pull the goddamn trigger. All right. That's what we do here. And we learn that way. So again, LondonReal.tv/DeFi. And again, it's one step of your entire Wealth Academy journey with us. We've got a wealth accelerator. We've got a crypto and DeFi accelerator. We have our Kings of DeFi. And then if you want to get the private jet, you can come join us in the investment club. We're making that baller cash in there. I'm talking 9-10 figures is what we're looking to make in there, maybe even more. And so this is what we're doing inside here. We try to keep this pretty quiet, but if this is of interest to you, then you're in the right place. And again, you can get the mentorship, you can get the education, the community. And again, I'm talking to all the most important people in the world, right? And they come on there because they want to be on my show, right? It's not just my good looks. They want to be on the show, and we develop a relationship on the back of that, all right? And again, I'll say one thing in closing here. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Raise your hand if you think that might be some truth in that. Come on, how they manage fear. My question is, how are you managing fear? Are you really taking the risks that you need to take to create millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, or hundreds of millions of dollars? You're not, because it's very difficult to do alone. You need a mentor like me pushing you. You need a community of people like I've shown you that are pushing you and want the best from you and expect the best from you. That's what we cultivate here. You just can't do this on your own, folks. I know it. I tried myself. I can't do it on my own. I need a community. I need mentorship. I need education, and that's what we build here. So, folks, I really appreciate the time. Did everybody get something out of that today? I really hope you did. Again, what I wanted to do before we go is I want to answer some questions, but I also want to pass it over to Martini, who can let you know if you guys want to take this a step further and learn a bit more how you can have conversations with her or join us in our future programs. So Martini, I'll pass it over to you so you can take it away.
Yes, yes. Well, we are so excited to have you guys on the call today. So thank you for taking time out of your day. And hopefully you were able to pick up some really good gems today. And keep in mind, guys, that crypto in DeFi is here to stay. So for those of you who are a little bit on the fence about it or think it's not going to be long term, this is definitely the future, and the future is now. So for those of you who are here and are wanting to get involved in it, you're coming at a perfect time. If anything, you might be a little bit behind. So get yourself ahead of the curve and go ahead and join us in the Crypto in DeFi Academy. And we also have one of our newest members, Lee, who's on the line. So shout out to you, and we can't wait to see you on the inside for sure. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I put some links inside there for you guys to go ahead and check out the Crypto in DeFi Academy course. Now, keep in mind that we are not like your regular course or one of your regular programs. We are very hands-on, and we have team leaders, community managers, and we walk with you every single step of the way. So if crypto or decentralized finance is something that kind of scares you a little bit because you don't know much about it, don't worry, we are with you 100% every single step of the way. So as one thing that I love about Brian is no man or woman is left behind in this course. So we will definitely make sure that you get what you need to be ahead of the curve in this. So I've also left a link for you guys to go ahead and book a call with me. So if you are interested in joining us in the Crypto and DeFi Academy and you have some questions, as well as if you are interested in our investment club, a couple of you have sent me a private message today regarding the investment club as well as Wealth Academy. So if you have any questions about that, I'm more than happy to connect with you as long as you are serious. So I've also left a link for some of our London Real Success coaches. So if you want to go ahead and connect with them, we're spread out all over the world. So there's somebody that's going to be available in your time zone. So once again, it was amazing having you guys here, and just know that crypto DeFi is the future. So be a part of that revolution, and we can't wait to see you on the inside. Back to you, Brian.
All right, give it up for Martini. Are you kidding me? Martini is incredible, and she pretty much manages all of our people in our academy. She's our director of operations, and she's the one you need to speak to if you want to get access to our premium program. She literally gives you one of these like Roman things. You either get in the program or literally you die. So good luck if you're going to go talking to her, but really sell her on what you're going to bring to the table. Shout out to Lee, who's going to be joining us in crypto and DeFi. So great to see you there. And Lee, it looks like you got a pretty sick portfolio as well, crypto. So I think you're going to add a lot to the group, which is amazing. So, and look, you got the Rich Dad book, Robert Kiyosaki. That's amazing. I'm like, Robert's texting me all the time. It's crazy, but I love that. I mean, honestly, it's like, it's almost like I can't make this stuff up. Like, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, Robert Kiyosaki was like this god. And now we've gotten to where he just texts me all the time and we become like really good friends. So again, it's amazing what the world will do for you when you open up, you go start taking risks, you add value, and you do these big things, and you'll have all these great connections. So great to see that book. And yeah, look, talk to Martini if you're interested in some of the other higher programs. Just know she's very, very busy. She's literally working 24/7. She's like, literally, she's up when I go to bed and she's up when I wake up, which is, I don't know how she does that. And she's constantly fielding calls, and she's very much in touch with what's happening. She's also invested in Zarka, in Batum, and all these companies alongside of us. But she's someone to talk to if you want to ask any more questions about our future programs. And look, some great comments in here. Melanie said, live long and prosper. So we got a Captain Kirk fan, and a bunch of people saying they really appreciate the interest, and they're very curious about the investments as well. Folks, I would just say, this stuff isn't going anywhere. And you might hear some fear and uncertainty and doubt, and Gary Gensler, the SEC, blah, blah, blah. But blockchain is going to be a major part of your life in 10 years, the same way the internet and your mobile phone is now a major part of your life, right? I would argue that all of you interact with the internet and your mobile phone 20 times a day. You probably can't conceive of your life without it in some way, shape, or form. It does so much. 20 years ago, it was like, oh, is the internet going to be around? It's a fad. The same with blockchain. It's going to be here in 10 years. So you can learn it now, or you can learn it later, or you can not learn it now and someone is going to take advantage of you, right? Look at the banks right now and the government trying to get you into CBDCs and trying to take away your crypto and to convince you not to use it. And look, it's happening everywhere. That's not what you want. And I always said this, like when we saw the Ukraine and Russian conflict happen, I always said the day before that happened, whether you were in Ukraine or in Russia, you wished you would have put some of your money in a MetaMask wallet in some stable coins before that happened. Because what happened after that? Well, if you were Russian, even if you were nowhere near the conflict zone, all of a sudden your ruble went in the toilet, your dollars were seized. If you're Ukrainian, your banking system's in a mess. But either one of those people could have taken that MetaMask wallet, memorizing 12 digits, walked across a border, been strip searched, no problem, walked to somewhere else, walked into a computer, typed in your codes, and you would have had cash to use as you want. Does that make sense to everybody? That is sovereignty over your own money. That is what we all need, and that's not going anywhere. So you got to learn this now, or you're going to pay the price, in my opinion. So get educated, also take advantage of this wave and create generational wealth, which is what we're doing. So that's it, folks. I got to jump to my other call. I appreciate everybody being here. Look, don't think about it. Pull the trigger. I'll see you on Monday. You're going to go on an amazing adventure, create tons of wealth, or you can watch us do it instead, because I will be posting all of our wins. So one or the other, just join us, or if you can't beat us, join us, like I said, but I look forward to it. And thank you all for the time. I really appreciate you. All right. Take care, everybody. Be well.